And you can also put like actual useful information instead of being cringe like cringe data. Maybe some of the information that we found here, something to pick and choose from. So now that we've made that snapshot, I'm going to try executing this. Let's get this going. Because sometimes you might have malware. Like for instance, if we open this up in PE Variant, it's already open. If we look into that thing that tells us what kind of application it is. Okay, yeah. So the subsystem, right? This tells us that it's a content. So
DDIF
sometimes the customer might
equals
spit out something and it'd be too fast. It'll exit
/MIT
immediately. So what I do is I open it within a command prompt,
floppy
right? And make sure when you're in a command prompt, ensure the privileges of your command prompt. So
/mbr
you run a command
dot
prompt as your user. This
bin
will run with your privileges unless it's doing some sort of abuse.
space of equals /dev /sda oops bs equals 40
Okay, my laptop actually just turned off while I press enter. Didn't know I made malware that strong. So this looks hideous.
what?
Like it really does. It's because the anti-escape codes aren't set, but we see something crazy here. So we do get that initial inkling right. It's definitely trying to. Okay, this is not self-projection. This is sorry, guys. I don't know how long the registry related API. This is done within the ADB API. It's a typically value from this weird registry key, virtual terminal level. Now, of course, if you don't know what this is, there's no harm in searching for it. So in Google, I search for virtual terminal level, and the first result tells
Oops.
us, wait, how to use the color in the terminal. To use ANSI color codes in the Windows terminal requires setting virtual terminal level. Virtual terminal level 1 is now set by default for the terminal in Windows versions 15.11 to 19.03. This had to be enabled at the registry here. Okay, so we can see that this is literally just trying to enable ANSI, and it says that here because our malware is so polite. It tells us everything, and it seems like we're about to get lemon grabbed real quick. Enabling ANSI support, registry created, and now if we had things that monitor registry keys, like Procmon is a huge tool for this. Procmon deserves a video in its own right because it's a very, very in-depth tool. But basically, given a process, we can see what operations it does. For instance, we see Explorer opening a key to this path, and so if we filter for our process, come over here, filter. It's a beautiful filtering system as well. It's very intuitive. For instance, if we say process name is, it's the name of the stupid process, ultimate thing. And see, everything goes away. But if we run this again, then I'll delete the registry key, just so it does it again. Okay, to regedit, first of all, come over to the path of that registry key, the virtual terminal thing. We see that's set now, and what would have to happen is you'd have to close your terminal, restart it again for color to be enabled. But if we start this again, Microsoft. Look at that, we get so much output. This is a boatload of information. Look, there's a lot of things that happen here. Some of it's just not through our choice, but this definitely is. You see, it starts by opening and querying to see if this value exists or not. Of course, it found that it wasn't found. And so what it does is it will create that key, and it will set it to 1. Isn't that cool? Now, because
So I gotta just 3D directly from dev FDO FD0 into dev SDA.
very cool looking flow chart to them. That's what we want to kind of emulate. We want to go from beginnings to basics into seeing what it does, the different flow paths that it might take.
DD
So it will check to see if this is set to this.
IF
If not enabled,
equals
we'll
/dev
exit. So now that it's created, let's see what it does. We want to be asking
FD0 space OF equals /dev /SDA space BS equals 440 count equals 1. Records. Fuck you.
Okay, well, yeah, so I think we shouldn't mess around with this too much. Let's go into what we think is credentials. And again, I know, guys, listen, some of you are so allergic to fun, it's genuinely insane, okay? I know, you're never gonna find malware out like this. That's so gamified. That's not the point. This is for training. Some of you have this incredible belief that just because something is a bit fun, it has no benefits to it. I've seen people literally criticize my content because they say that they would rather have me monotone, talking like this, discussing whatever I'm talking about. Like, it's crazy. Guys, live a little, have fun. This lets you learn. And this is very serious stuff.
Hard
Okay?
disk that was All the raw MBRs and the files are in place. Power off in virtual. Hey, let's go to machine. Let's take a fucking snapshot. And let's fucking power down the fucking machine, bro. We're gonna power down the machine. And then we're gonna go to here, and we're gonna fucking, we just gotta remove the floppy disk. Remove the floppy disk. Remove the floppy disk. Remove the floppy disk. Remove it. Ooh, shit. Did I fucking... Okay, good. Okay. Hold on. Remove the floppy disk. Remove the floppy disks. Remove the floppy disks. Remove the floppy disks.
I'd actually set another snapshot in case of like failing authentication because some malware might see that as a threat and self-delete. So let's see. One, two, three. Maximum login attempt succeeded. Access denied. We're on our way. Okay, cool. If we fail off, if we fail authentication, this happens. However, if we succeed, we can press any key to begin execution.
Wait, what?
Things like what we see here. Press OK.
Did I not remove the floppy disks? I didn't remove the floppy disks.
Okay, so we have a really nice flow of what's happening.
Here we go.
We know what this does now, perfectly clear what this does, but there's still one thing that we don't know about, which is...
Let's try and open her up. I've injected the manual boot something or other. Fuck yeah, dude.
This payload, this file gets dropped.
Okay.
I mean, we have virtually everything here. At this point, we
Wait.
want to go in to do some manual reverse engineering, but it's already been an hour.
Attach the core ISO, attach the floppy if you're done with it. Wait. Oh shit. Let's power down. Storage. Okay. Wait, what? Attach the core ISO. Wait. So I wanna... Hold on, okay.
And it really shows us how rampant malware runs around or near us. It's literally only getting worse. I said earlier that there's a lot of malware out there, and a lot of malware that gets picked up every single day. How much exactly? A couple hundred? A couple thousand maybe? Well, just in 2023 alone, it was said that between 450,000
Okay.
or 560,000
Now let's try it.
every day. Not every month or year, every single 24 hours, over 500,000 samples are caught, and that's just the bastards that are actually caught. So this number has a pretty decent margin to account for when we consider the malware that isn't picked up. Sources claim that there's also over 8 billion malware samples out there, which is just insane. In terms of costs and damages, in 2015, the total damages
What?
to malware was $500 billion, literally half of a trillion. In 2021, it skyrocketed to $500 billion per month, 6 trillion for the year. Currently, the costs are projected to grow 15% each year, and so
Machine.
go up to $10.5 trillion fucking dollars in 2025. Do you realize how much fucking money that is? It's literally not even conceivable. $10.5 trillion can buy you like 175 billion copies of Baldur's Gate 3, and that's almost 22 fucking copies site seized by a Power Ranger task force called Operation Kronos reveals that Lockbit may have had a global impact in the region of $1 billion. And this is one group of how many out there. You can even see in real time from this mesmerizing website from Kaspersky just how many hits there are every second. There's so many things happening, it's insane. From threats being blocked from a literal IDS to web antiviruses, it's a lot. And of course, on a serious note,
Fuck. Wait.
I think we can all agree that this is a very serious threat. I'm barely even a hacker, what do I know? The following is just my opinion. You can think differently from me, no hard feelings, but if the numbers could speak for themselves more than they already have been, I doubt hope is the intonation that they'd use. It's been getting worse. It's only gonna get worse, and you may think me a pessimistic nihilist, for which you'd be right, but I'd also urge you to consider just how easy it is, especially now, for someone relatively unskilled to just whip out something that can genuinely do some real damage if their cards are played right. And as for the threat actors and the big bad wolves, I mean, literally, why would they stop? Money is often at the vanguard of motivators to many. I mean, given the chance, how many of us would just up and leave our current jobs in an instant if nothing but the salary was to change? However, when you combine a powerful incentive like wealth with malice, there's no line certain people wouldn't cross. You know, the cost of integrity, empathy, and sympathy pale in comparison to an extra literal dollar in their pocket. As a company gets bigger, it brings in more money, and to a threat actor, it becomes a shinier and shinier target. To the smaller companies, a large majority of which are family-owned, with a fraction of the security and resources as the big companies, why would they care? And we've seen this time and time throughout not only cybercrime, but all of human history, virtually all disciplines of study. We've seen just how much money was that pointing fingers gets us nowhere. If people are constantly getting exploited or falling for the same tricks, then at the root of the problem lay the way we bring these problems to light. The only fix I can see for this problem with any chance of actually working is education, which is why I hold the notion of free accessibility to information at the core of my ethos, and which is also why I'll always be providing free education to everyone, because if you don't know something about it, you can't even begin to protect yourself from it. And think about it this way, how long could you last against the monsters from A Quiet Place? Without studying them, chances are not very long. But as you stay still a moment and you learn about these monsters, you understand their limitations. You find vulnerabilities of their own, which you can leverage against them, which is how we should be approaching our understanding of malware and cybercrime and all the things that can very negatively impact us, or God forbid, a loved one. And I know some people are going to say that I'm being way too dramatic about this, but I don't think I'm being dramatic enough, frankly. I mean, it's not an exaggeration when you consider the single mother of two whose rent is now overdue, or who can't get baby formula for her youngest because her banking information was just stolen. The hundreds or thousands of pictures and memories which have just been Thanos snapped out of existence on a whim, encrypted or robbed or whatever, even if it's really simple ransomware. Many of us can probably figure out a way to undo some of, if not all, of the damages, but what the hell is she supposed to do? Go to another place to consult something or someone else that will also probably scam her? At the end of the day, you can blame the user all you want. Sometimes it's not even the user's fault. Certain companies have completely shot the bed when it came to their security practices. Sorry, I got a little carried away. It's just it's something I'm very passionate about, because real life vulnerable people are getting targeted, and vulnerable people typically fall for it. I don't think it would be this severe if they didn't. So awareness needs to be brought on this topic, if nothing else is to be done at the very least. Alright, Grandpa Crow's done rambling now, or as you kids say nowadays, yapping. I left this at the end of the video because this is sort of a rant, kind of my take, my thoughts on this, and I didn't think it was extremely vital to the actual core material we were trying to learn here, so this is why I moved it to the end. But I still think it's important because I have been gifted a huge platform in which I can potentially bring light to a very serious issue. And so if I don't, at the very least, shed light on this situation, given this incredible blessing of having so many people, there's no point of me even having a platform if I don't utilize it for some good or awareness. So that's why I included it. Now, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's a very long one, but it's a really cool subject that I'm really excited to get into. And thank you so much to SquareX once again for sponsoring the video. They have been so incredible during this entire time, dealing with my stuff, but we made it work finally. In the next video, we will continue this amazing discussion. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, goodbye. welcome back. We're doing it again. We're doing another YouTube. In this video, I want to do something a little bit of fun, a little bit of funky. The last couple of videos, the malware analysis video, people seem to really enjoy and really like. And the recent giveaway video for Fawaz's Try Hack Me Room, people seem to really like that I kind of went in cold, going in blind, not exactly knowing what was going on, and for having me suffer and figure it out all along the way. So, what we're doing in this video is a good synthesis of the two. Like that, like a little butterfly thing. So let's get to it. I'll hop over to my computer screen here, and we'll get to the fun stuff. So here I am in my good old terminal, boy, and I'm going to ls in the current directory that I'm in, which is called notepad.js, because I have this peculiar file here, notepad.js. So this is a little artifact, right? This is a little something that we found, and I want to take a gander at what this thing is. Obviously, file is just going to tell me, like, hey, this is plain text, it's ASCII, it has some long lines in there, and it was originally found on a Windows host, right, hence JS. It is not, in fact, JavaScript, but it is JScript, one of those sweet little scripting languages that will inherently run natively on Windows. So it's a little spooky wooky, but let's take a gander at what this thing is. So I'll fire up my Sublime text editor here, and I've got this notepad.js file, and you can see that there's some fun stuff going on. So I'm gonna actually save this, right? I'm gonna save this as original notepad.js, just so I can kind of maintain that backup, and then I'll save another copy of it as a deobfuscate, because obviously, while I'm looking at this thing, I'm gonna need to make some sense of it. So let's do it. And again, I don't exactly know where this is going to go. I started this process, and then I was like, you know what? This might make a stellar video. So let's get cranking and figure out what we might be doing here. We are running JScript code, and we have some variables defined that are nonsense, like JDFFFJF. And it seems to create a string with GF as a variable indicating a PowerShell syntax, with random zeros and ones and plus signs. So I'm not exactly positive what this might be doing. I don't know if it's adding these numbers together for some reason. But some of them I see end in like a plus plus or a plus on their own. So that wouldn't actually be adding anything. But that goes on for a long while. Like, check out my scroll bar here down at the bottom. We're cruising for quite some time. So that it might be something neato.
Oh.
But, oh, there's a pipe there also at the end on that last one here. So maybe that's going to do something wonky. Let's call that GF. Let's call that GF variable, because that's apparently all that we know so far. And this GF variable, if it were in fact PowerShell, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fire up a virtual box, because I've got a Windows VM that I kind of want to poke around and see if I can get anything nice with this. And let's explore that PowerShell. Actually, I could probably do it on PowerShell on my Linux host, actually. Do I have that? Will that just kind of behave? A little PowerShell down here. Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it for me? Thank you. Let's make that profile blue so I know that I'm in a different shell there. And okay, let's plug in that GF code. Copy and paste that. Poop it in right there. And yeah, it's like, I don't know what to do with these plus signs, dude. I feel you on that one, man. So GF variable, although it seemingly ends, like that is inside of a parenthesis, like array or control thing. So I'm pretty sure if that ends, but it ends here, maybe that's just, maybe the second one, this TLFKLMSDF. How would you pronounce that? Folkmolstuff? That's got to be a GF continued. Continued. There we go. Okay, so let's save those, and looks like we can do things with these functions here. So let's start to figure out what those actually are. Oh, it's actually being passed into this ebgogfel. So let's see what our good friend ebgogfel does. Where's he referenced? Okay, scrolling down. There's not a lot to this. This is actually just 75 lines of code, so we might have some fun with this here, but let's see what we do.
Because we shall. Our config. We have successfully created a bootloader and such, but we shall have to come back to this as our machine is brain dead. We're going to hand build your missing Linux environment inside core.gz manually. Inject a minimal shell and in it a script, repack it into a C.
Boot from tinycore ISO again, as you've been doing. Dooby 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 doo. Dooby 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 doo. Dooby 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 doo.
So the plus sign is going to end up being essentially replaced with ones. That kind of clues me in that it's probably going to be binary code. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay, so then we also need to do that on our little GF continued here. So slap that in. Now let's do a little split plus, and they were adding on split plus GF continued plus GF continued, and now we have this whole thing. Okay, so let's awkwardly try and copy this entire string, and let's save this as another randomness. Let's just call this GF variable. Text. Yeah. Okay. I know there's a pipe there at the end, but I'm going to ignore that for now, right? At this very moment, I kind of want to see if this is in fact binary. So you know what? Let's open a little web browser and go to the most elite website that there is, ASCII2hex.com. So let's see if this binary actually comes out to be anything. It's probably going to be like
Make a working directory.
Rapid tables can do it. ASCII tables can do it. Let's go to that rapid tables. Binary. Never mind. That's not gonna do it for me. How is there not an ASCII2hex.com? I see it like in different representations of ASCII the word two, and then I gotta split these. Oh, ooh, look at that. Look at that. That looks like PowerShell code to do funky stuff. Alright, let's save that as GF PowerShell.
Mount your hard drive.
And we will need to obfuscate that later. Let me table that for now, because we haven't actually finished making sense of our little notepad.js. But we do know that this eventually becomes PowerShell code. I don't know what these other functions are doing, though. So let's figure that out. We basically figured out these things. We basically figured out those. Now let's see what else we got. I don't exactly know where to go with this, truth be told.
Copy your current core.gz to work on it. Copy /mount /sda1
Because the script full name is going to be the absolute path, and then you're replacing the script name with nothing. So I think it's getting the
/boot
path of
/core.gz.
full name will be the absolute path of this program, this running script, and then we're removing the script file name with nothing. I just repeated myself to make sure I got that point across. I'm pretty sure that's the path for this script. How about that?
zcat core.gz cpio, whatever that means. Zcat
So let's change that to
core.gz
current user app data
line space CPIO
And if this is actually
dash
it's probably
ID
going to be like wscript.show.
MV.
And script full name
Enter.
is going to be
What?
full script path. Okay, so
What?
it checks if the folder for this script is
Oh shoot,
current
wait,
user
what?
data roaming, then it will do nothing.
Huh?
So it's probably already where it
Huh?
otherwise it goes
Huh?
ahead and
Shut up. Go away, Siri.
uh,
Go away.
this currently running script to current user app data roaming, and it overwrites it. Okay, so let's say copy command
Oops.
for that.
I think I got ahead of myself.
To move script to app data roaming. Donezo. Okay, so then that is also still included here in this else statement. And that is seemingly going to run a command, seemingly run that function. So let's call that run command. Make sense? Okay, that's clearing some of it up now. Okay, so we are going to run command on all of this stuff, but I don't know what these functions are yet. So var them gazunith get object. This is probably WScript. Oh no! Oh no! Well, this function right here, that kind of makes sense already. Lgam, that is just going to end up reversing the string. So we can call that reverse string. And our new Jelfo, that bad boy is going to take this, just concatenate those together, doing some good antivirus evasion, doing some obfuscation, ladies and gentlemen. So let's slap all that together in our little node interpreter, and let's just make that that. And then, since that literally just returns this, we can just kind of replace all occurrences of that with this. Make our lives easier here. Oh god! I just straight up removed it. I said, do it. Okie dokie. So we don't need that function anymore. And get object reverse string is just going to end up doing. How many times do we use reverse string? A few. But if that's just going to end up being reversed in this get object command, I'm pretty sure that's just going to end up being WScript.show. So let's take that string and reverse it. I'm just do this in Python because I don't know the syntax for it in Node off the top of my head. And this must be like a new CLS,
Shall get to
like
root.
a class ID things in Windows. I am not too sharp on that,
Sudo su.
but we should have our Windows VM ranked in here. So let's see
Directory
if I can do that exact same thing.
p
Can I invoke class
home
PowerShell or something
slash tc
to
slash
simulate this exact same
my
functionality in WScript?
my core.
I'm going to assume that this is WScript.shell because it has this run function. So let me do that. I'm just going to call it
cd
WScript.shell
slash home
command. I don't know why
slash
this has a variable.
tc slash
And then we have a registry persistence thing.
slash my
Red add cmd/c hk current user software Microsoft Windows current version done. Adding the value
Okay.
lol lol hacker's gonna lol string and adds in our current user app data roaming with our script name. Okay, so eventually the file does want to be in current user app data roaming under its name. So I will call this function persist in registry. And this must be
Tried to mount
Figure out what our JKKW function is doing. Actually, I want to know what this thing is. Do we end up calling this? Is that different from... That is a different CLS ID. If that's the right terminology, I might be saying that wrong. Let's start from the top. Let's take a step back. Let's kind of remind ourselves where we came from, you know? We do
CD
a get object.
/ home
What class
/
has
TC /
in JavaScript?
my core.
Gosh, I so wish I... Oh, Cortana, what are you stinking doing? Let's find out. WScript get username. How to get username?
Home TC my core.
.network?
Enter.
Is that
Okay.
it? Is there a Windows like CLS ID lookup thing? CLS ID keys.
CP copy / mount / oops
Is it an app ID?
mount /
List.
SDA1
Okay.
/
CLS IDs look like UID.
boot
And these do not look like UIDs, do they?
/ core .gz.
How about an app ID? What the heck's an app ID? Sorry for that epilepsy, guys.
Means copy here all
Windows app ID list.
period.
Mhm.
Dot at the end, it means copy here.
Identifies the app ID UID before response
Enter.
commands execute.
Now unpack it. Zcat
Malforensics. That sounds
core
pretty cool. That sounds like
dot
a one.
gz.
Application IDs. Those don't seem to be. I think it is CLS. But how do I get a Explorer shell
Dash
network? What would I be like in
IDMV.
a WScript class or like in a object?
Fuck yeah!
That's what I do. I don't care.
You'll finally fully
Please leave
extract
me
it.
alone, Cortana. Please get
And
out
you
of my
can
house.
then we can do the init surgery and inject BusyBox in the shell.
Windows.
Cursed Linux install. When you're ready, just follow the corrected.
You know what? Let's just right click, please, and create a new little text file. Come on. You can do it. Or you did. Okay. New text file. Something dot JS. Yep, do it. Alright, let's edit this. I'm waiting for Windows Defender to be like virus. I create a single JScript file and just like, no! Can I message box that out in JScript? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Let me make this bigger so you guys with eyes can see it, because... Oh, Control Plus in Notepad stinking works? Are you kidding me? I always thought I had to go to, like, format to, like, you know, change the whole thing. Like, change the whole font. Alright, let's double click on that. Yep. Open it with the Windows-based script host, please. Die. 3, 1. Object expected. Oh, duh. I that. Please. Does MessageBox do it? No. WScript.shell echo is a thing. If this is in fact WScript.shell, I'm pretty sure. Oh. Once again, let's go for even better. Now we're talking, boys. Friggin' semicolon?
Rootbox Tech Romancer.
Come on. Does that need parentheses? Gosh, I wish I were so much better at this. Object
You clutch your staff and ready your spells, and you may now take your action.
Let's just
Rebuild a cursed core.gz that will boot. Drop you directly into a primitive shell with only raw elements of BusyBox.
Literally just generating the strings from PowerShell. And then
What would Rootbox like to do first?
can totally be replaced.
Forge and then steal BusyBox, create symlink
Imagine that.
Uh,
Let's replace all those. Let's totally nerf that.
Forge
We don't need it anymore.
slash it.
PowerShell right at the very top with our GF variable that we knew was PowerShell code. Okay, it's all coming together, ladies and gentlemen.
this is so stupid.
Actually understandable, which is nice.
Where
We
can I
don't know
fucking...
about this thing yet. I don't know what path that is. Ultimately, it's just the same one. I don't know what it's like. CLS ID or whatever the thing is. It's getting the object that allows us to get the username, but that's literally it. So I don't think we need this. We don't need to waste our time.
Rootbox the Technomancer raises his staff. The cracked file system stirs. The ghosts of Init, long abandoned, must be reforged.
We're gonna go echo.
This is going to end up being this, so we can kill that entire function yet again. And now that reverse string is going to give us that new, whatever that CSLI is. Can I just look for that? Oh, I need to kind of reverse it. Let's look for this. Let's do like a, let's Google that. Get object that thing. Malicious code hacker. Uh-oh. We're going to the spooky, scary parts of the internet, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, strap in here. Where's my little get object? New ID. The control F for that. It's not even here whatsoever. Okay. I don't like these advertisements. We still can't believe you didn't see this here, folks. This wasn't in a John Hammond video. Booking confirmation, booking that thing new shipment.bbs instead of hybrid analysis malware. Detected Suricata alert. Created dark memory stuff. Yeah.
A new init file is born. The symbol it is pure. Spawn a shell immediately after reboot. No daemons, no users, no mercy.
Let me just do a shot.
You have created a living heart for the corpse. The voice speaks. What will Rootbox do next? I shall steal BusyBox.
That process tree. That's insane. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love some good malware. But there's sandbox stuff.
Look.
And they're doing
Sickly green light, he reaches into the living world and steals the soul of BusyBox itself. The arcane binary, the one tool to rule all commands, is plucked from the living ISO.
there. What is this?
Send this command carefully.
Copy slash bin slash
So,
BusyBox
slap that in. And
slash
what?
Bin slash BusyBox now exists inside your core custom core file system. You have trapped a universal spellcaster inside your dead system. It holds the knowledge of all basic Linux
What is
commands.
happening?
This is so fucking stupid.
Right?
Create symlink rituals.
Oh, they're separate strings. I'm a Dumbo. So this
What will Rootbox do next? Rootbox the Technomancer shall create Simlink ritual.
Okay, there we go. Let's say A can equal that thing, all added together, and now I have that original string, and then I can reverse that.
Before the sacred bin altar, he begins the Simlink ritual, building busy boxes formless power into mortal shapes. SHLS, Mount Echo, Cat, and more. Trembles as he utters the binding spell. At your command line, chant CD bin.
Do it! Oh, that's a mess. Oh god, why did I do that?
For
App
in SHLS Mount.
So that's just gonna end up executing that PowerShell code. So we got DB script network.
Cat.
Let's reverse this thing too, just for our good safety.
Echo.
Finish up this script so we kind of know
DM.
everything that this thing does, and it's not a mystery.
DMESG.
We can get rid of our reverse script function,
MKDIR.
and this is basically the opposite. Let's
MK.
call this
God.
ran command. Our string plus doesn't need to exist anymore. Our reverse string is only being defined now. It's no longer being called.
Shut
Run command, persistent registry, string plus and everything, and then there's a little persistent. Okay, I think at this point we can call this done. We are 30 minutes into the video and we have finished up with this JScript code. We have known and figured out that this GF variable is doing some peculiar stuff in binary, and you can actually see that in this PowerShell code because it ends up taking every line, every portion of this. That percent sign is a for alias in PowerShell, and for every single binary byte here,
Do
gets a string value from it and converts it from binary. So it's 2
ln
with base
dash s
set there.
dash
It knows it's
busy
binary.
box
It joins together as a string, and then it runs IEX and has a little neat obfuscation that you can throw back to. So literally stinking anywhere in PowerShell code, and PowerShell will still do it. So it invokes the expression, IEX being the alias for invoke expression, on all of that binary. Wow. Why did these guys? So let's get that PowerShell code going. Let's start to deobfuscate this thing. Deobfuscated PowerShell, also known as GF. So let's do a ping. So we ping until we have internet connection. Is that right? We only send one ping every time. Let's try that in a genuine PowerShell. I could probably do that in Windows again. but-
inside bin slash you now have a bunch of commands. Each one is a magical link pointing to BusyBox. Your cursed core will now understand basic incantations when you spawn into the shell. The dim sky cracks open, a soul is rebuilt, the body is stitched. One task remains. Repack the soul.
Get random port on an internal IP address, something XSL. No one knows what John was up to that day. What else we got? Then we get this T56FP variable.
The void spirals root box standing before the broken remains of Core raises his staff high. The fire system trembles. The inodes spirit scream.
What is our
Now the final spell must be cast. Repack the soul. Inside home/tc/mycore, chant the sacred compression incantation. Find PIO. Oops. Find dot
Oh, it is.
pipe,
Oh my gosh, it is. Is that?
CPIO.
Sets the value to null and true. Holy cow. Yo, that I hope that's an AMSI bypass. AMSI bypass? Let's bring these back to normalcy.
Gzip.
Probably gonna find a replace for this rather than do it by hand, but you know. Get field, AMSI,
Oops. Slash T slash
non-public status.
SDA1
Getting
slash
those fields.
boot slash core
As we saw, and then
dot GZ.
And then it goes to do some web client stuff. So I don't exactly think there's anything more to it. Is that really all it takes?
Explanation of ritual. Find all the pieces of the file system cores. Collect them into a coherent body. New C format. Gzip. Bind it into a compressed soul. Core.gz. Overwrite the whole corrupted soul on your hard disk. What?
Maybe it does something else. Because it doesn't store that anything. It literally doesn't. So I'm gonna play
What?
Windows around with Alt Tab. Let's go back. Service point manager access protocol to TLS 12.
Oh shit.
So let's
I forgot a fucking space.
so we can read that just fine. And that needs to be added to IEX. In which case that just makes TTY be a web client object. Yeah. TTY is a web client. So we can download stuff. And then maybe do some reflection. Shall we? Visual Basic, MV, can equal Microsoft Visual Basic interaction, call by name, down. That's kind of a cool trick. I've never actually seen that set up. That way you don't have the full like new object net.web client dot download thing that calls it. It's at least a little bit separated, and that way you can do more obfuscation with this.
Corpse of core will rise again, and you, root box, will be dropped into an immortal /bin/sh shell with your staff busybox to defend you. Okay,
I'm sorry.
let's detach the ISO.
Alright, so
Storage.
holy cow, you don't see that anywhere else other than here, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it's really at. Alright. Sketchy URL. Sketchy URL, we're gonna download string from attack.jpg. Let's see if that bad boy's still a thing. You know what? I'm on Linux, you know, I'm a ballsy guy. Does that literally still exist? Yo.
The ground splits, the soul is packed, cursed, core, spirit, and crude and brutal is sealed once more within core.gz. The ritual circle glows faintly, Rootbox's work is complete.
What you see there, boys? ASCII text, yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Loading image.
Oops.
Shush. Sublime text. No. Let's make that real. ASCII to JPEG, and it's probably is that passed to IEX? Honestly, it's gonna end up passing it to IEX after it filters it out. So we'll call that thing raw payload. How about that?
Drop directly into a raw shell prompt like slash.
From this, splitting it on percent signs.
Oh no.
Every single object there, it's going to consider it to be hex. And then join them all together. Okay, so they are all hex. It's going to bring it all together. So let's call that final payload. text. And this is just like a URL encoded thing because it's hex and with the percent signs. So
Okay.
you know what? Let's
Okay.
do a little mess here. Let's call reverse, or let's call it like stage 3. Stage 3.python. We'll do a little user bin invoke environment python. Let's open our attack.jpeg.text. Do we want to bytes? I don't exactly care. Honestly,
I'm scared.
I'm a context manager because I'm on the internet and people are gonna yell at me. So with open that thing as handle, let's do handle.
Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work?
And I don't want
Can I type? I can't type. I can't do nothing. What the fuck? No.
So we get all that. We do the contents. We do contents dot split by parentheses, and let's get a little p print. So we can
Hold on. Do I gotta physically boot it off of the fucking
That's exactly how you say
when
it.
I load it up?
Let's run that safety.python. Excuse me. Syntax error? What are you going on about? I forgot a parentheses. That's exactly why. You were totally right. I was wrong. Okay. Now we got all that stuff.
One.
There's a lot, dude.
There's no. Oh my god.
Alright, let's strip that.
What?
Because there might be some other noise and nonsense in there. And let's start to convert those to hex. So let's do int 4x in that. Let's do int of x base 16. And there we go, the actual hex numbers. And let's say, what do I call them? I mean, those are bytes, aren't they not? Let's just convert to character. Convert to character. Please. It's gonna give me Python. It's gonna give me PowerShell codes. So character, all those now. Let's join that all together and let's do a little print on that guy. Sorry, I'm frantically moving my windows around, and now we've got this. Does it ever end? Let's tee that out to a good old stage4.ps1. Let's see what we got here. Oh, so this is a good trick. This is going to end up being IEX because it's just taking the character eraser and it sets alias of that thing to IEX. So, yeah, let's get back to PowerShell and just show you that. Like, look, it's IEX. Invoke expression, ladies and gentlemen. Let's call it what it is. Call a spade, or whatever the cool kids say these days. So Sal, that thing can just, because Sal is set alias. Commandlet set alias. I'm trying to be spooky again, guys. Sorry, flailing around. Set alias to IEX. Just set IEX to what it is, guys. Don't beat around the bush here with me. You know what you're up against. I'm just kidding. I don't have any idea what I'm doing. This is beautiful. Take a look at this system.app or asterisk.
I don't work the machine. The shell just isn't handing you a prompt correctly.
Pass it to IEX. Alright, let's nerf that in real quick. App domain. We can remove that little replace syntax here because it's stupid in a waste of time. So that's going to give us app domain. We'll call that. I will use the dollar sign here. Oh no, that's gonna clobber that variable. That's gonna be bad. So this though can be current domain. And I know that this is going to end up building us out to have the capability of reflection. And I see literally yet another payload in here, I'm pretty sure, in this hex, and that's going to be disgusting. So let's see what we got. This has some white space in it for no reason. And string of this, blah, that. Does that ever get replaced with anything? Yeah, it replaces @ signs with zeros. Let's once again slapping in Python. I did copy and paste that. I swear I did. I literally hit Control Shift C, Control Shift V. That's how you can copy and paste. Are you just not letting me do it? I'm right click pasting. Okay. Is it too big? 201,000 characters selected. Ah, I see now. I understand the dilemma. That might be actually something difficult for you to do. Because there's a lot of data there. So I would tell Sublime Text to do it, but that might be a horrendous idea. Does this one do the exact same thing? It does.
If you want to inspect the corpse, here is the plan. Attach quota.
With
Put in a tinycore live, sudo su, blah 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 blah.
And then you can see the IEX there. So let's remove that replace and nerf this thing to get to invoke. So we do current invade, invoke IEX. This is going to end up being a, let's just say that's going to get like module, I don't care, whatever it's called, load. So it loads it reflectively. I might be wrong in that explanation, but we do replace all that. And this thing is going to end up being this original string modified for bytes. Basically, I'm assuming just converted out of hex. It looks like, right? We'll zoom out here. Because this function is going to take the parameter, split it, and remove all of these
Inspect the corpse.
periods, parentheses, but those aren't in there whatsoever. Are they not?
Staff was more like
Let's
it's
take this
part
thing
of the
on
wings. You choose to inspect the
Let's,
corpse,
copy
rituals,
and paste it into the
depths, and
Sublime Text
inspect
window,
the
and let's try
corpse.
and do that final replace and literally break
Da
everything.
ba da ba da.
Let's do it at signs. Oh dear God. Sublime Text is already chugging along. And let's replace them with zeros.
On your disk.
Control Alt Enter to find and replace all. And let's see if Sublime Text crashes.
Staff/st.
Wants to break. He's chugging along. God help us. That was a real bad idea. Why did I do that?
Make directory
I do, like all along. You guys were telling me, like, John, don't do it.
slash home
Don't
slash
put that evil on Sublime Text.
tc slash my
Shit, I never even saved, like, the original Stage 4.
inspect.
Did I? I never even, like, made a copy of, Stage 4.ps1. This is original. Oh! Oh, did it do it? Oh my
tc
gosh!
slash
Alright, here we go.
slash
Let's call it, like, payload 4 dot text. Let's call it dot hex. Nice work, Sublime Text. We gave you time to recover. We gave you the time of your life.
copy your core soul.
I really appreciate that, man. What else we got here? Waves? That thing? Is this doing some, like, process injection? Is this gonna, like... So we're obviously gonna end up loading some C# binary or .NET assembly thing that we probably expand and look at. But Waves is probably gonna end up being like the namespace of the class and that weird thing. And this function will likely end up doing something, but it's taking notepad.exe and loading more code in, which has to be this thing. So I wonder if that's gotta be something new. That's gotta be like some process injection, I think. You know? I think. Let's mess with this function. But I don't know, let me get back to payload 4 because there literally is no stuff in this. There is no parentheses period in that. I don't think there is. But Okay. Goodbye, Python. If I didn't kill Sublime Text, I certainly killed you. Let me pause the video for a quick second and check the notifications on my phone. Alright, we're back at it. So we got left. Where are we at? I'm trying to remember. We have payload 4.hex. So let's make a recover payload 4.hex. No, I want that to have a Python extension.
Once your system spell out once again.
So we can copy basically the same thing we did from here, except we're going to end up using ASCII, and we will in fact read it as binary or bytes, so that way we could get payload 4.hex, and then we have the contents. So let's do a print binasci.unhexlify of the contents, which should be bytes already. So theoretically, I should get a bunch of binary data spat out on my screen, which I do. Excellent. So let's save that as stage 5. Bro, we're going for a wild ride here. And let's just open like a stage 5.exe, write that in bytes as handle, or as h, because we already use handle. So let's do it h.write stage 5. Right. Properly spelled right. Ha! Imagine that. English words. Python 3 recover. There we go. Now I have a stage 5.exe that is a DLL. You know, we were close, guys. We were close. Let's call that stage 5. DLL. Okie dokie. So before we dive into that, let me clean these up. So let's convert to hex. Let's put this function away because we kind of know what it's doing already.
That gives you a working shell. Leave inside the live ISO, then your cursed system is struck very sound. Depending on what you find. Okay, hold on. Shut up. Go away, Siri. I don't want you. Go away.
And then we load that
Dissection.
Loaded library, and that will probably end up executing or importing load library, I guess. I'm not using the right terminology and lingo to describe all this, but now that we've imported that library, that C# DLL that we can understand and explore with ILSpy or DNSpy, waves is something that is seemingly now brought into our context. So we're going to end up probably injecting or doing something peculiar with this function here inside of that, notepad.exe. So
Which starts as shell, but busybox is sh by itself doesn't reinitialize. Terminal settings like a full in it. E.g. no clearing, no prop drawing, no getting, no fancy login this way.
And
Blank
Python has came back to us, everybody. Hallelujah. Let's run ILSpy.
But it's not a what?
Do I want to close that virtual machine? I'm sketched out and it's still kind of like picking up memory and stuff from this video. This video's gotten pretty fun, you know, I think. Yeah, let's do it. Let's open up that ILSpy real quick. See how we do. Okay. And forgive my malware present in here. What did I call this? Notepad.js? Yeah. Stage 5.dll. What do we got? Assembly title music. Can I zoom in on this, please? I want to edit this so you people can actually see it. Seriously, how do I? Options. Yes. Display. Font size. Bigger than that, please. Alright. Now you can see it. I hope. Let's see what we got here. Stage 5 DLL. Using runtime compiler services and interrupt services. So we're probably going to be doing some memory stuff. Assembly title is music, which I think would easily set, but that's kind of funny. Especially if waves is what's going to do like, oh my goodness, look at this. Alright, references, is there anything to read here? Melons? What is this? Obviously system, oh god, please don't actually pour all that out right now. It pulls in some kernel 32 stuff. Can I get anything out of melons? No? Got any resources in here? What is this? Can I draw icons? Is it gonna like actually pretend to look like? What is it? What are in these, man? Are these pictures? Are these images? I'm gonna run foremost on this just to be wacky. Sorry. Spastic terminal as usual. Let me do a little foremost on my good friend Stage 5. Let's see if we got anything in there. Nah, just a DLL. We could do like a bin walk, like a hard bin walk. But let's see what we got. Okay. There's a lot of randomness. I don't like this. We're in over our heads now, ladies and gentlemen. Holy crap, there is so much stuff in this. What is this Costura? I've seen that before. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is all obfuscated. Anyway, let's look into waves, because honestly, this function is the one that we know gets executed in RAM. So, which is the one? Let's totally, for the moment, ignore all that other noise.
Reinforcing its scroll, the shell-bound sigil is etched into this file system. The wind blows over the cursed core. Winds over the cursed core begin to stir.
Which is that 5.5. So it takes a string, which we know is notepad.exe, and it decompresses as a gzip the bytes that are passed in.
Now you must
So
reseal the
this
slash in it to refresh core.gz in the command.
gzip is going to end up doing more stuff. It's very messy. Little switch cases here. Other randomness. Let's try and just take that binary data. Let's try and take that hex data and decompress it into gzip, and then understand what that toto function is going to do. Because I'm sure it's going to do something spooky. Might do some process injection. Because this new payload is what we are running with that function, and we haven't decoded that. So let's set Sublime Text on another wild goose chase. We'll replace all of these at signs with numbers. Here you go, everybody. I don't know why IELTS keeps giving me tooltips. It's very annoying. Stop it, IELTS. Okay. Go, Sublime Text. Now you can leave your comments, everybody. You can tell me, like, John, just use set. John, just use art. Just use vim. Just completely rewrite the kernel. Yeah, I could. But why? Waves inject dot hex, I suppose, is what we will call that. And let's convert that out of hex. They do convert it out of hex, do they not? They do. They do. So that's going to end up being a gzip stream, as we know now. Should we Python it up again, or should we do something like CyberChef? Let's do a little CyberChef, you know? Let's appeal to the masses. There we go. Slap that in. Do a sweet little from hex. Whole lot of nonsense. Let's get a little gun zip, as I like to call it. And now we have this thing. Ooh, and it's another executable. Alright, I don't know if you can see it. We get the little notification. Hey, this program cannot be ran in DOS mode. We got another binary, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's save this thing. Download.dat. What is this? Is this stage 6 or something right now? Let's call it DLL. Yes. Save it. Let's move our downloads. Download stage 6 DLL over here. Let's see if it is in fact DLL. Nope, it's not. We were wrong. God, man. 0 for 2, guys.
What?
Let's call this an exe. Oh. And that is
What?
not a .NET assembly. So I would not be able
Oh, what?
my good old IL spy or DN spy sheets. I'm gonna have to actually reverse it with Hydra or Hopper, and oh goodness, I don't want to. Let's see what you do with strings. Now we're starting to get into stuff that I'm not good at. Rich buy. Rich buy. That was a weird one. Let's see rich buy at the very, very top here. Is this gonna end up being like a crypto miner or something? That would be nice. Like if we came all this way and it was like, I'm just a crypto miner. Is there any like indication of Monero? Is there any indication of CoinHive? All these strings are useless, man. Where are we going? Oh. Now we see stuff. Network down. Message size. Is this going to end up being like C2? File exists, file is large. Those are like genuine messages. Argument out of domain. Too many files open in system. Those aren't normal.
What?
I don't think. Or exit process.
God.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Why does Malware always include the dates? I'm sure it's in like some library that gets pulled in, but it's always just so funny to me and see that in strings. Where's the good stuff, guys? Oh. Is this going to be like a C thing? Is this going to be a C++ thing? CMD.exe? Doing some event viewer? Keystrokes? Is this doing like a keyboard logging? I don't know what's happening right now. Key3.db? Logins.json? Firefox stored logins. Oh, it's a little info stealer. Trying to grab browser information, cached stuff, license code.tech, improperly spelled.
Flex stands tall among the shadows. You.
I know, like, you guys might think I'm dumb
Tiny navigation.
for just looking at strings, but seriously, you can get a lot of listening. Remco started by Watchdog? What is that? What is that? What is Remco's?
You're standing.
Remco's rat. Remco's rat. Is that what I'm dealing with right now?
All your extracted files.
Is this it?
What?
Did we find it? Remote control and surveillance software. Updated yesterday, 17th of 2021, February. I sent those out of order. What? What is this? Is this like the latest version? Because that would be kind of cool in a horrific way. You know me, like that'd be kind of slick in a horrible, nightmarish way. I appreciate this malware going outright and telling me what it's called. You know, I really am thankful for you just saying, oh, Remco's, we got restarted. applications, Remco's. Oh my gosh! BreakingSecurity.net. We see you.
What?
Is that like a safe? Is that like a? Is that like a good thing, or is that just straight up shady? I genuinely don't know. So we specialize.
I'm just gonna
in things
fucking.
like hacking. Guys, this is too cool. What? That's Remco there. Yono keylogger, a sided nailer. Holy cow! Why have I never heard of this before? This is insane. They have so much stuff. Oh, of course, a small free video game. Why not? Is it all open source? Are you for real? Oh no. Okay. Let me keep looking to Remco's because go to Remco's Professional, download Remco's free, limited functionality. Read the instruction manual. I kind of want to do that. Control your personal computer from a remote location, or not your personal computer, or someone else's personal computer, or server, or data center. Runs on any Windows, encrypts the connections. This is unreal, guys. I'm glad we got here, like, within the hour. Remote control the screen, remote chat, control center. This is what? Maybe I'm hyping this up a little too much. You know, maybe my inner YouTuber is just getting a little too excited about things that aren't all that exciting. But I mean, look at this. My inner YouTuber. Shut up, John. John, what the heck are you talking about? Shut up. You're not a YouTuber. There is seemingly nothing else all that interesting here. The copyright, though, Dinkumware, I'm pretty sure I've seen that around. I think it's just part of a module, isn't that? Dinkumware. Yeah, these are the C libraries to be able to do peculiar stuff. And not even that. I'm pretty sure these have a genuine purpose. Dinkumware, yeah. Oh no, there's a premier supplier of actual C and C++ libraries. So, you know, there's that. Panic. Is there anything else peculiar and interesting in this? Or have we just kind of found the smoking gun to be like, nope, that's remote control. That's Remco's or Remcos. That's gotta be what the buy is for. Like, hey, go buy the actual program rather than using this crack software that you found on the spooky woogie dark web. Remco's is another rat. 40net's got some stuff on it back in 2017. Here they're using it with a macro dog. I like that it's called Remy.exe in the screenshot. And they obfuscated a little bit too. Oh, it's packed with Empress? Or maybe the older version was? I didn't see like a UPX string. I actually haven't heard of Empress, so I will have to add that to my mental repertoire. Obfuscation of the malware practically ended after the 2-pack. Yeah, and then looks like some IRCs here.
Oh my fucking god, bro.
that funky URL we saw earlier. What else do we see in there? Go away. Thanks. Trend Micro has got some good stuff. This is in December of 2019. Germany-based security firm breaking Germany-based firm breaking security. I don't know if I can, coronavirus spam. That was in 2019 though. Wait, what the heck? This email is from April 3rd, 2020, and this article is 2019. Can you see the future, Trend Micro? I know you guys were good, but I didn't know you were that good. Startup persistence, of course. Bypasses AD, maintains persistence, injects into a legitimate Windows process like notepad.exe, as we saw, information theft, stealing all potential of those Firefox cache and Windows cache as a separate backdoor commands. Spooky.
Rootbox Titans has gauntlet the winds of the fire systems green once more. The ritual to reforce the unit begins now.
3.0. This is the one that came out like yesterday. Optimize, improve, be faster. Fix agent crash. Copy IP address. Wow. Did it say the version? Did it say when we were running strings in there? Did it say the version? Remcos, Remcos, Remcos. Oh, it cuts it out. Remcos be something. It's got to be filled in by the actual. No. You know what? Let's do a little hopping, guys. You know what? We might as well. We're already this far into it. Did I actually open Hopper, or did I just open my virtual machine again? Hopper, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. We want to go to Notepad.js with our stage6.exe, I think is where we are. We'll go to our
What?
point here, and let's try and understand this.
Oh my god.
That thing, that thing, that thing. I want to find.
What? I just did that.
Ended up saying Remco subversion. Remcos. But you can see even more policy system enable to. Oh, that's what we're trying to add in with the RDP stuff. I want to see this version. Where do you put me? Remcos version 3.10 Pro. Oh my gosh. Literally released yesterday.
God. Fuck.
That is insane. I can't even, I don't even want to like edit this video because I want to get this out like right away. Show people some of this cool stuff. Wow.
2 minutes away from final victory. Stay ready to retry extraction once you're in home/tc/my-inspect and copied core.gz.
Remote control, remote access Trojan through layers and layers of payloads and obfuscation. I hope you had fun on that safari ride through JavaScript, JScript, through PowerShell, through C#, through an executable that isn't going to end up being a .NET assembly, and doing some of that detective work to go find this thing out on the internet. I think that, truth be told, and I'll be honest, this was not staged beforehand. I saw this JScript and I'm like, this would make a really good video. So I just dove in and recording, and I literally haven't seen it before. This honestly is really cool. I don't know what else to say or do in this video, but I hope that this was a lot of fun, and I hope that this even takes it further than what we did in that last malware analysis video. I know a lot of people love those, love that video, and hopefully we can do a lot more. But we did some cool stuff with this, and I think that was a blast. I think that was fun. If you guys haven't done all the YouTube algorithm things, if you enjoyed this video, please click back, I would really, really appreciate that. And this has been a ton of fun, everybody. So thank you for coming to hang out. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully we can do more stuff like this. But I love you. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. No video outro because I'm just gonna straight up upload this. Love ya. Goodbye. Oh, sorry. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. My name is John Hammond, and you know, I love me some malware analysis, and it seems like you guys do too. So we're doing it a little bit once again. I'm gonna hop over to my computer screen here while this stuff's going on, my computer boy, and I've got this folder here. I'm in this Kaspersky directory, and this one I think is kind of fun. I think this is a neat story. It's a little bit peculiar, but we'll tinker and we'll play, right? So there was this little Kaspersky shortcut, or Kaspersky.lmk, and whatever, in the comments you can whine if it's Kaspersky or Kaspersky or whatever. That shortcut file linked to this Kaspersky.exe. Now, that was in the directory of c:\windows\Kaspersky, which is not, by the way, the actual default installation path for Kaspersky, the antivirus program. And you can verify that by simply Googling. You can see, hey, I was kind of looking for ILSpy, grab that and play with that a little bit. But if we just look for like, yo, what is the Kaspersky installation path? Pass the hash, like that PTH actually. You can change the installation path of Kaspersky. By default, the application is installed in the folder program files, Kaspersky Lab, Kaspersky Endpoint Security, etc., etc. It is not normally in C Windows Kaspersky. So that was a little sus, you know. Kaspersky is sus in this case. I'm not positive, hey, what is that thing? And we kind of want to look into it. I also saw in that directory of C Windows Kaspersky an update.exe. And inside of the directory was also all these other files. I just put them in a related folder so we know that they were kind of in that present directory. So I'm sure you can see already by some of these file names, those look peculiar, and not actually all of them are in here. Some of these other DLL core folders, core files, DLL, all of those other DLL libraries I didn't actually end up pulling all in, but I do want to showcase some of these here, and I'm doing a little bit differently, right? So you can see in a virtual machine, I've got just flat Ubuntu in here, and I also have another machine that's just running Windows over here, so we can kind of bebop back and forth, and I'm on the new rig, I'm on the new machine, so thankfully I can run some virtual machines side by side and do some other neat, cool, fun stuff. So, what I want to do, first of all, is take a look at what the files that we have are, right? So Kaspersky.exe is, of course, a Windows executable, but it is also a mono.net assembly. That means we can kind of peek and kind of peel behind the layers, look behind the curtain, see what that thing is actually made of in something like GNSpy or ILSpy. So I actually wanted to get ILSpy on this Linux machine, and then it's like, oh no, you actually need to end up using the Avalanchia, or I honestly don't remember how that's called, pronounced, but that's the cross-platform edition of ILSpy, so I'm like, all right, let's just roll it up in Windows then, because we have that, and we might be able to do some other cool, fun stuff with it. So let's, let's hop on over to that Windows virtual machine, and I've got this terminal here. My laptop that you might have saw off in the corner is actually hosting the web server right now, so we can pull down that Kaspersky.exe and those other files. So laptop, desktop, working in harmony. You know, good stuff. Let's get over to my desktop so we can do some neat stuff, and I'll get this down. I'll go to my laptop's IP address. That was 10.0.0.98, so a local thing here. Should be on port 8000, because it's a simple Python HTTP server. And I want to grab that Kaspersky.exe and it lines. Okay, we need to use the basic parsing parameter. So that should be use basic parsing, so that pulls it down without a problem. I should just kind of make that full screen, sorry. There we go. Oh, but it wouldn't have saved it because I didn't specify an out file. Explorer and take a look at what that thing is. Perfect. And they should both be on my desktop. What is that? What is that icon? I feel like I've seen that icon. I'm just gonna open that up in File Explorer so it's behind a white background. Kaspersky with a B file description and version number is 1.0.0.0. Oh, okay, fascinating. Let's just steal that picture and let's see if we can like do a Google image reverse search on it. I'll just save it with Paint. I'll slap that like whatever in my desktop. I don't care if it's wrong, untitled. That's totally fine. There we go. But I want to know where that comes from. Is that genuinely a thing? Google image search. Yeah. Okay, cool. Search by image. Let's upload that image. That was on my desktop. Oh, it's literally it's the logo. I see. Kind of neat. It's kind of funny. So probably know. I'm kind of right. This might not actually be Kaspersky. It's a facade. It's a decoy. It's deception. Let's take a look at what that update.exe is first before we dive into our little Kaspersky spooky thing. But that update one is seemingly very small. So if I ls, right, again, there's not a lot in there. That's the image. Update.exe? Is that, I didn't even download the right thing. You guys should have told me. You guys should have let me know. Alright, let's remove that whole update.exe. We also don't need that image anymore. But we will download that one more time and actually get the correct file there. Let's grab the update one. I was like, why is the size the exact same size on both files? No. This update is much smaller. So let's crack that open, shall we? I have my else file opened up here, and let's go ahead and open on my desktop that update.exe. See, that has a different, it's a different binary. Gotcha. Alright, so this is using some reflection libraries, interop services, so stuff that might be able to do some peculiar things. Let's open it up and explore some of those other libraries and things we might include. Nothing seemingly in metadata. I guess that's just like the library headers and everything for the file itself. Resources, do we have anything in here? Not displayed for me. Let's go to updates and update properties. Resources. That doesn't look like it's all that interesting code. Let's just go into the update form, right? Let's see what this thing does. I guess I can expand.
Did I miss a fucking period? What?
So this is a graph user interface, right? So we could run this and actually probably get a window to pop up, and I might do that once we're done kind of looking around and analyzing this thing. It is a GUI. So suppose we'll just remove it. Those are, I think, boilerplate stuff for when you end up having a like Windows Forms, and it just sets a form. Okay, so the program is probably where the fun stuff actually happens. Let's see what we do. Check for some arguments here, and the argument that is supplied, is that arg0 going to be the program itself? In process by ID and parse arg0, or is that going to be like what it supplies? It's kind of odd. It doesn't do anything other than that try though. That catch doesn't do anything. I might be misinterpreting that, but
That says core.gz.
So for each of those items that we find, each of those files, we delete them. Okay? And then path 2 is set to an empty string. So both of these we end up going through, right? The list file files, we get everything that's supplied in the other arguments, all EXEs or DLLs, and then we combine them. Oh, sorry. Bring file name will be path combine that original text that we deleted with an exe. If it is an exe, then we save that in what would have been path 2. And then we try to copy it over there. Okay. And we run that.
What?
Process start on that process start info, which is now going to be that new thing. So that doesn't like actually update all that much. It's not like it's pulling down from the internet or anything. It's grabbing whatever files might be in the current directory. So if for whatever reason we got another DLL or if we got another exe, maybe that was doing something to pull it in, I think. This is just a definition for that get files function that we were seemingly just calling earlier. We just grab that list information and grab it in extensions, right? Okay. So they're actually using the real get files there now, seemingly. And checking if the extension matches. Okay. So I don't think this does a whole lot else, honestly. Let's kind of stop the system IO thing for a minute because it's taking up a lot of space. But that update just seems to the program these things with exe files and like copy and delete them. Let's try and run it, you know, just to have some fun here. I'm gonna copy this Kaspersky.exe. I guess I can just download it from the other computer, right, if I need to again. But just to be like safe, let's disconnect from the internet. Not that like it's actually doing anything. Let's just disable this. Okay, and let's try and run that update. Even though we kind of looked through it and saw that it might just do some weird stuff with that other exe. Did anything happen? Did literally anything happen? I'm clicking on it a lot, but we could probably take a look at like system kernel data and probably run that or see, make sure it's actually running. But how about if I like made another? I mean, are these all going to be in the same directory, right? Working directory. Oh, duh.
It's not fucking doing anything.
So
Oh my god.
we need to supply text. We're looking for the path. So let's simulate what this looked like to begin with. I'll go into C. Let's make. I mean, we already have a Windows directory, and I am in a virtual machine, right? So I can just kind of blow this thing up, and for whatever reason it gets messy. Let's make a little Kaspersky directory, and it won't let me because I'm not an admin. I don't care. I will.
It's not doing anything. Oh my god.
Let me do what I want. Am I actually an admin now? Just actually tell me. Let's try to make that directory again. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, alright, cool, did it. So let's copy everything from me, my desktop, all of
Phew.
those exe files. Let's put them right in this Kaspersky directory. And
What?
now, let's. Do I have a touch command? I do not. Silly PowerShell. Let's just echo nonsense into like a fake .exe because it's just seemingly checking for the file extensions, and I've lost myself in a PowerShell file. Okay, so let's try and update the fake that is in C Windows Kaspersky. Am I understanding that right? I don't know. Path should be seemingly the third argument. Text should be what I've supplied as that file name. Do I need to include the exe extension in here for some reason? No? Am I going down a rabbit hole? Honestly, this isn't obviously where the spooky stuff is going on, so we can table this. I think we've had our fun bumping around with this update, but it doesn't exactly do much other than copy files. And I might be kind of getting in the weeds here and not exactly following what is happening because I'm dumb. So let's go do something else. Let's remove this update and let's try and add in. Yeah, we already nerd the internet, so I'm not concerned about that. Let's just pull in that Kaspersky.exe and let's see what we got, ladies and gentlemen. Kaspersky.exe 1.0.0.0.0. The assembly title is B. Assembly product is B. Copyright 2015.
To use Busy Boxes exec.
Metadata we know won't be anything else interesting. The references that it pulls in, however, are, I think, peculiar, right?
Fucking hell, bro.
You might have seen a net.dll. You might have seen a highlabo or higlabo, a newtonsoft json.dll, s22. So let me kind of Google what these things are in case you might not be familiar with them. Because I wasn't, truth be told, right? The newtonsoft json.net is a high-performance JSON framework for .NET. So it is going to be allowing us to use JSON inside of the code that we end up running, serializing it, working with it, deserializing it, etc., etc. So that we might see put to use.
Okay, boot back into tinycore live environment, attach ISO if needed.
Higlabo converter. Let's Google that guy and see what this thing does. Or what is just higlabo on its own? Because I just pulled in just that converter, but there was like a core, there was like other fragments of the library, but it provides mail client features for SMTP, POP3, and IMAP. So our little Kaspersky program might be sending some emails. Is that fair to say? We got JSON, we got mail functionality. What is this Sassel? What is this Sassel.dll? Let's grab him. See what he's up to. This supports authentication methods. So yeah. This repository contains a .NET assembly implementing the authentication and security layer for the Sassel. Provides a protocol or specifies a protocol for authentication and optional establishment of security layer between a client and server applications used by internet protocols such as IMAP, POP3, SMTP. I see. So a little bit more nod to emails in SMTP, right? Okay. Well, let's stop beating around the bush here. Let's go explore what this fun little Kaspersky.exe might be doing. Now that we've got an idea as to what these other references that were included are, actually I'm curious still about that net one, but we can explore that in just a moment. Let's check it out. This does have seemingly some resources. Again, theoretically it is supposed to be everything, so we can see what it exactly does. I don't know if you can see right here. I don't know if that's visible or not, but this is seemingly a namespace or a class kind of named SMTP sender. So it has some enumerations here. We have connect status, it looks like, with value set for none, connect, and error. Load config file results, succeed, file not found, format error, and main form. Main form is a little bit hefty. There's a little bit more of that scroll bar there. So we have that default IP.txt file that we had seen. And checking out these references, right, of course, we see higlabo, if I'm pronouncing that right, and the SMTP sender class itself, right? So, or the whole thing. I think namespace is the problem. I might be wrong in the terms that I throw out as I'm just kind of rolling off the cuff here, but create an SMTP config, something that's defined over here. Cancellation token source, that is not defined elsewhere that I know of seemingly. Last 60 cent count, last 60 cent timestamp, IP list, send mail tax. I'm assuming that should be task, maybe a list of tasks. IP list count, str IP list, file name, current IP index, etc., etc., etc. So we're saving some IP addresses in this default IP.txt file. Take that for what you will. Let's hop on over back to our Linux machine here, and in that related directory, I do have a default IP.txt. So let's just take a gander. Let's take a look at what that might actually include here. I'll run cat and pipe that to less. just a big long list of IP addresses, everybody. So I'm kind of curious what if there's a lot. I don't think I actually have Sublime Text installed in this VM yet. So how many of them are there? let's pipe that to wc.go. Let's get the word count lines. Oh, 73,312. Of course. Don't you need that many IP addresses for your antivirus program? I don't know. Let's cat that out one last time, and let's see where these IP addresses just might.
The shadows coiling around Boombox. The forbidden spell is whispered into his ear. He is ready to bind the TTY to seize control of the cursed shell and awaken full command over the void.
Put it over here. Taiwan. I don't know how well you can see that. Does that have a domain? Hegden.com.tw in Taiwan? Let's go. Let's just do it. I mean, it's a thing. Okay. Let's check out this guy. How about you? Are you also in Taiwan? Ta-da! Nope. Israel. Okay. What about you? 72.52.170.252. Slap that in. Oh, that's over in, what was that, Kansas? United States? It didn't tell me. No, where's the state that you were just showing me that I accidentally clicked out of? Wichita. Or somewhere close to it. Nah. Okay. We could go down this rabbit hole for a while. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all 73,000. But we can run something through it if we want to. But these are all over. We got Brazil, we got Israel, we got Taiwan, we got Kansas, the United States. What else? Miami? Cool. Alright, just one more and let's get back to something more fun. It's over in Argentina. Let's take a vacay, guys. Yeah, alright. That's enough spooking around the internet. But as you can see, there were a lot of IP addresses, and maybe we could write something fun and funky to seal those locations. Let's do that in a different video, because that's not what we're doing in this one. Let's get back to our little Kaspersky.exe, so to speak. Let's check out SMTP load count, SMTP string header text, string body. So just based off of these variable names, I'm assuming like all the references and the kind of the loaded in libraries that we've seen in the SMTP robot, I'm going to assume this thing is going to end up sending emails, right? Kind of somehow, anyway, at this point. So what else we got? Here's the main form, and that is another form here. Initialize component. We should run this thing. we should see what this thing does. Get total memory in bytes. Okay, do a little reconnaissance. Computer info.
What?
That is an actual class. That's like a Microsoft thing. That is loaded in, right? Microsoft Visual Basic. Yeah, devices. It grabs that. Hey, how much memory do we have? What's byte?
What do you mean?
Well, that uses some WMI. CPU info, memory info, pulls it in for each management base object in management object searcher, and that looks like a WMI query for Windows management instrumentation. That's some of the thing. Hey, let's grab in whatever, and it parses out the number of logical processors here. Let's get CPU info, memory info, etc. Neato. Get instance is going to return itself in the main form, seemingly. Load config comes in from config data, passed in, and looks like we
size, read access, random access, seemingly. That just looks like it's counting the number of entries in a file, I think, maybe. Let's get the IP list from a file. Okay, that looks like the exact same thing. It looks like it's doing the exact same thing, just counting. Start send mail task. Now we get to the weird stuff, right? Send mail tax dot clear with threads, adding new task to send with a robot, our robot status, our SMTP robot. We got a completed function that just checks, hey, whether that robot status is stopped with 3 Ps or not. Same thing with the stop function, and then won't be reading. So is it like going through each of the IP addresses and trying to send stuff? Like every single one of those servers or something was. I don't know if that would be like the mail server itself, or I mean maybe. Like when we looked at that one in Taiwan, the HTTP had a domain to it, but I don't want to like obviously run nmap scan on something like that. But maybe that has port 25 open or anything for SMTP or IMAP or POP3. Spooky. We got log thread. Wait a second. Are those in the logs? It has strings like, oh, mail sent, okay. And authentication error? Authenticate error? Good. After first. Oh, and it writes it to smtp log.txt. Did we have that? It does explain thread. Oh, but literally logs like everything it does. The IP address, the port that it calls out to, the SMTP server, password. What? And the subject. That is neat. Also horrific, but neat. What do we got? We don't have SMTP log. No! Do we have log? What is in that log context? I don't know what those are. But we didn't have an SMTP log. Okay, is that a dead end? Log good SMTP. Get use offload. HTTP client. Does it like check it? Oh. Does it like check to see if the server is up by like any HTTP thing? So that Taiwan one.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend that I know. I'm gonna keep cruising though, because we got a lot to go through. Send mail thread for test. Weird whole lot.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's later down. Let's. Is that later down? Where am I? Yeah. Okay, that's later down. So let's wait till we get to that. But it will sleep, determine if we need to wait, and create a new SMTP client with the IP address, the port, the password. Then we need to send communication, try to connect, connection there, etc. Mail sent okay, mail not sent. Okay, I think it's fair to say, guys, that this is not Kaspersky. I think it's fair to say that this is not the Kaspersky antivirus at this point. If you've got classes named SMTP sender and all that weird stuff, completed thread, get replace string, get random. Ooh. It's like replacing the segments that it would be using in an email. Subject from, recipient, mail from, and just that's neat. And then it applies random on each of those things. We have generate random and we have apply random as other functions here we can take a look at. Oh, and we have a little like schema as to like what we want to replace the random with. So get characters from this range, get characters from that range. That's neat. Apply random does, I think, a similar thing, right? Yeah, okay, so it's just checking if that rand notation is in there and then generating it as needed. Spooky. Populate number doesn't seem all that interesting. Populating a number, construct the header and body of the email. I'm assuming, yeah, content type, you get some headers in there. You adding the body. same as our Taiwan guy? Was that? Let me bring back the pages. That was a Ukraine. Like mx.urisl.com. MX indicates male for me. Okay, so those are some of the good servers that we were able to send emails to, from, or through. Spooky. What else we got? Whole one server we saw earlier. That looks like it's just grabbing things and getting out of these big SMT accounts, etc., etc. Refresh timer. And how much more do we have to look through on this one? We should probably move on to something that might have a little bit more spice to it. But I think we can, at this point, come to the conclusion, right, that this is sending emails. And if there are mail tasks, I wonder if this is a, like, command and control framework. I wonder
Okay.
if this is some, like, RAT might not be the right word. Not a remote access thing. But part of me wonders, okay, is this being used to send, like, command and control, or to actually be able to interact with this victim that this Kaspersky.exe supposedly our fake antivirus is on? But yeah, load
Echo.
so we know that those are a thing. Let me see if those other ones. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. That was kind of neat and interesting. Let's check out our other one. Where's he at? Indonesia. We got an 89 here. There are a lot of good servers in this. Out of the list of 73,000 that we just saw, that is over in Italy. And we could poke through some of these if we wanted, but each of them seemingly have had a domain name.
Bin
Oh, no.
/ busybox
Second one have one? I just want to check one more time, because the first one I know did. This one did.
install
Yeah.
-s.
And they're all related to a mail domain, or at least kind of indicated. Okay. We got our few the proud over here. We got our temporary good servers, and let's get back to IS. Let's get back to the fun stuff. But we know those are the good servers, and we've been logging some of that. Good server
Bin
index, load previous status. Well, the previous status was also
/
that log.txt that's keeping track of. And it is seemingly the robot status. Is that right? Or each of these. Oh, these all indicate like different lines in that log.txt. Current pass index, done IP count. So how many has this gone through? Yo, that's kind of neat. Where, let me go back to it. Let's go back to that log.txt and see what of these makes sense. So we know that was all of this as we read lines. So let's copy that. Can I copy in and out of my, try it? No, I can't. Dang it. Alright, let's make this minimize. And now let's expand that window and see what we got here. So, current IP index is 41,972. That makes sense. Current pass index, 122. Done IP count, excuse me. STR. Current IP keyless file name? Is this hash? Is that a hash? That looks like a hash. Next IP list file name, deposited time, send mail counter, done try count, total try count, good IP count. Yep, that makes sense. And the int IP list is exactly what we saw when we counted all those. Whoa. Okay. That was kind of neat to tie those together. file. That must be taking everything that we had seen thus far and skipping over to that part. On start info, on stop info, begin info, action. Okay, that is from the one-time stuff, so that I might, oh! On stop and on start info are called in each of those. So the robot, if it is started, then it doesn't need to start anymore. Then it... What? No, if it doesn't need to continue... Oh, stop, please. No! Where did I go? No! I went to the very, very top of the document again. Okay, sorry. We'll get back to it. We are trying to figure out what this on start fully does. The next IP address list. Load default config from the default IP addresses. Good. Download IP. I don't know what exactly that might be, but load default config. So that's something we already saw. Temp good servers, log.txt, it clears them out. Then we get the number of IP addresses, how many we need to go through, go to current position file, and load the good servers. So we delete those that aren't necessary, seemingly, set up some threads, see how long we're going to end up waiting, I think. Like, give it a little bit of time to not look so spooky, not look so sketchy. And whenever the timer goes off, it does some other task. On stop. Okay, yeah, it stops it all. Reset robot status. On set config. Default CFG. Ooh, that's a new one. What is that file going to end up being used for? On set config. Robot status is started. We get a binary writer. And we write the config data, which is passed in as an argument. But that's a byte string. What is it that, default CFG? That's called again, like on get config when we read the data out. Binary reader, we read that data in. Sorry, I realized my face was kind of in the way. Base string length, we read it, and then we use send config on our SMTP robot. So we should totally check out that SMTP robot. We do check all the URLs or the IP addresses. Once we're connected on a master, then we start a monitoring loop. Okay. Master connected, server IP port. What is that? HTTP client response net message. Retrieve that server URL. Make sure that we have a successful status code. I'm gonna go to that just real quick just to see what it looks like. Yep. Looks like it. Okay, it's just checking if it got like a 200 or something. And if we did, we get a result from that. And then we decrypt them with a string cipher with Shangwei Foresight 1988. What is that? Is that something that like is existing? Is that a thing? Back to Google. I know I'm already on Google, but I'm on the image search one, and I don't have internet. Gosh darn. All right. Get back to my adapter settings, please. Enable that. Go, go, go. We're getting intense here. All right. Let's see what this is. Let's go to Google.com. Please load. Cool. Slap in Shangwei Foresight. No. There are no results. There aren't that many good ones. That's sad. What if I look for like malware? Is it like a known thing? Is there any? Is that our totally random key or something? I don't even know what this is actually being used for yet. So like let's table that for now. Let's go back to analyzing. That is passed into the decrypt method that is inside that string cipher. We parse out the empty entries. They're separated and delineated by a colon. So we get a server IP that works like that. Yeah. Oh. What does that mean? So the servers that are passed in here list of other servers that will be used for. So it'll be used for that communication with SMTP, maybe? Master Connect thread is going to end up trying to get some of these things. We'll wait for 10 seconds to do that over and over again. See how many times we can get it, and then we keep reconnecting and checking. Okay, that's evil. That is nefarious. Load default config. We'll take in default config as that file. Oh yeah, we still need to look at that. Default IP address. Pull all that stuff in and check to see. Oh, so in case there are like other directories, is that right? IP list URL file? I'm kind of cruising to find that actually fully understand. Get public IP address is just gonna, get public IP address is checking itself. Back. It's just going to check ip.dns.org. That's a thing though, isn't it? Will that give you the real IP address? I'm gonna have to blur this out. So I show it. Yeah. Confirmed, it does give you your IP address. Your public IP address. Neato. Okay. And we're almost done. Like a very, very this. Connect is again, it's using Same thing, the top has the same exact output. Are there any other exceptions that might be interesting for reading strings here? This looks spooky wooky. It's not bad. The data type is incorrect. It must be a byte array. Alright, so they're leaving some notes for themselves, buddy. Net data event, that looks like a delegate. Is that something that's like, is that like one of those tasks that's being pulled in? Then message code, parse item enum, parse random enum. Oh god, the program. Oh, this is kind of neat. This is like what's going to end up as a call, right? So it's going to check if .NET is installed. So it has functions for that. Check the registry to see, hey, do we have v4 seemingly not of .NET? And maybe I'm going too quick on that, but yeah, it checks. Okay, if .NET is installed, if it's not, you need to install it to run this program. Starts a robot status with the little scanner time starting right now. Enable visual styles, message show, if there are any errors. Okay. Robot status has just a lot of stuff defined. Time span is get up time. Whoa. Just trying to see how long has this robot been alive for? How long has the C2 been active? Connection status, a couple getters and setters. SMTP robot, we're on server connect right now. So server connect will connect with seemingly a socket. Connect will connect to server. On connect, we'll try, and if we do get a connection, we'll get the main instance and explain that we have connected with an on master connect. We'll call that. On receive. Does that do anything spooky? I can't click into it. Can't see it. Analyze packet is going to end up invoking something from the net data, and our net data did do something. Type code binary data right. Net message code. What is this? So these are the control codes seemingly to do a certain thing, but it's just sending logs and sending the data that it knows. Update status, control server. Do we ever see that? 1004 control server data? Telling it that say config, it gets config, starting communication. Totally C2, but I don't see it do anything to like run code. I don't see it doing anything like run commands yet. Invoke does something. And that data then seemingly don't know. Okay. Let's get to our server status, right? That's just another enum. SMTP account. We do parse from. SMTP account is parsed from with an ID and a password. And it's just pulling out again with a colon separation. Two-string, obviously two-string. SMTP config. Alright, we knew we were looking at some weird stuff in this because this is in relation to that default.cmd. So what do we got here? Constant string config password is that Shanghai, I don't know, Foresight, that thing. Must continue auto threads, str receipt. A lot in here. SMTP config. Reset. And it calls reset. And string config file name is default. Default.cfg. SMTP port 425. We have timeout set up, and we're trying to keep track of the headers and the accounts, and that's that. So load from stream reader is reading from the data, and it looks like this is like breadcrumbs of what that config file might actually look like. We have headers defined here, SMTP accounts, and the ending tags for those. So it has its own like structure and schema. It has how to understand that config file. And this just looks like the function to parse all that data out. Cool. Wow, we get the auto threads, the recipient, the from SMTP, the thread connection time, IP list file, all of it is included in that default config file. string cipher can encrypt that line with that's passed into this function with the again exact same key. Same thing with decrypt line. And save the file. We'll just spit it all in general recipient. Okay, so this is what it would look like. But all of this data is going to end up being pulled from that master server or whatever that we end up reaching out to.
This is the moment of truth.
So SMTP robot has encryption key. SMTP mode was just another so I didn't want to explore through that. But SMTP robot does seemingly do stuff, and it's probably like the agent for the box, right? That's going to be the task or thing. When it's, I'm assuming, doing the nefarious, performing the C2. Yeah, right. SMTP robot
Wait.
adds all these codes. Proc get log.
Shit.
Yep.
No. No. No.
Connect to server, do
Wait.
something.
No. No way.
We
No.
have our good servers pulled in. Send data must be for message codes. Connect to server. We saw.
Please tell me I just didn't fucking save. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Every 5 seconds, tries connect and send data. Do start comm. Just starts communication and sends it. Yep, yeah. It just sends the hey, we're talking now, having a conversation. Hello. Send data in heartbeat. These are all the net message codes that were kind of added in. Send save. So this just looks like, honestly, looks like it's still in communication. It's still just talking back and forth, sharing the data and the information that's received or getting. But I don't see anything that like runs commands yet. It's still spooky one way or the other. Okay, let's monitor the machine. Is that normal? Does Kaspersky do that? Do they send it across all these different worldwide IP addresses through mail? Like through SMTP? Alright, SMTP server pulls in the Hig Lambo stuff so it can get encryption. SMTP server pulls in that encryption module. It will parse in data from different things. seemingly.
Why?
I would think, yeah. All the stuff that might be passed in. And 2-string again. So, string cipher. Ooh. Okay, now we're getting to some cool stuff, right? So we know, before I dive into this, let me just check out SMTP sender. Doesn't look like there's anything all that interesting in here. So string cipher is where we're going to focus right now. So we know that default.cfg or that default config file is encrypted with what looked like base64, right, when we took a look at it, but it's encrypted supposedly with this string cipher class and functionality, passing in that Shanghai Shanghai thing. So we have this initialization vector for us with the bytes here, some random ASCII letters, and we have the functionality to encrypt and decrypt, which is cool because we have the data that was encrypted, we have the decrypt and encrypt function, and we have all the keys that were used to encrypt it and decrypt it. So we could just try and decrypt all the data. Yeah. Let's try it. So, I would do this because this is in C#, right? Normally what you could end up doing is just compiling your own code, right? You can do that on Linux if you want to in Xbuild or Mono or etc. Or you could just plop it into Visual Studio if you're running Windows, but that's very large and very clunky. I would think I would go through this and try and do it in LinkPad or LINQPad, and that it makes it sort of like C# feels like an interpreter or an interpretive language, like a scripting language. Like, hey, you can just slap code in and it'll compile it and run it like on the fly. I'm sure it's doing more cool, nerdy bells and whistles things under the hood, but that feels cool and feels fun. So I have LinkPad installed in this, I think. pretty sure, like, hey, let me type in some words here. Hey, hello, please subscribe. Sweet. I want to make that larger so you can see it.
No.
Preferences. Yep. Enter font. And I can make it dark mode. So much better. Show line numbers and
No,
yep.
it's not.
I expand the font size, please? Hello?
Fuck. No.
To change font size, oh, duh, sorry. Use the scroll wheel or control shift. Oh. I didn't need to do any of that. Let me go back to my default. I like that one. Zooming in. All right, cool. Now we're up in action. Well, let's get to some cool stuff here. There is a way to just straight up like run a program though. C# program. Oh, sweet. And it just will do it. So let's do a console right line. We'll do the concept. Lisa. Cool. Yeah. Do you want to save that? Let's just slap it into my desktop. Decryption. Decrypt shop. Apparently I added a B in here. Okay, it just says please send. So now let's get some functionality to encrypt and decrypt with all of this. We need all of these using statements. And let's build out this functionality in this string cipher class here. So I'll slap all that in, and yep, let's move the using directives into whatever they need to handle it. Can I move that, please? And we're still missing something, aren't we? Password derived bytes. Where did all this? New password derived bytes. Oh, is it using a different like C# syntax? Rather than using the using statement, can I just define them like that? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Then let's clear all those out. And now we've got that functionality. Now we've got that code inside of the string cipher class. And back in the main function, I will. How do they do that? They use the string cipher.decrypt. And we saw that in main. Right? The string cipher.decrypt something. Passing in this, right? So let's grab one of those encrypted strings and see if we can get it to decrypt. I think that's all we need, right? Let's just head out default.cfg. So this right here, can I please paste this in? Please? No? Okay, you suck. I am pretty sure I'm gonna need some line text so that I can do some quick multi-line editing stuff. So let me just download that super duper quickly. And in the meantime, we will download the good. Let's download. What am I thinking? I'm so sorry. I need to download the default config that we have up on the server. So that laptop that's beside me is hosting the related files still. In related, I should be able to grab default CFG. Of course, I need that stupid use basic parsing. And now let's outfile that to default.cfg. Yep. Okay. How's line text doing? Is he all good? He's all good? Okay. I probably should use like Chalkly or something to install that, but you know what? You live and learn. Like that's bad Sonic the Hedgehog song. If you know what I'm talking about, maybe that joke hit close to home. let's actually open up Explorer like in this directory so we can actually open this with Sublime Text. Open with more apps. Oh gosh, don't make me look for you. Sublime Text.exe. Good, good, good. Okay. Here are all of the encrypted lines on our Windows analysis VM. So we can fire up LinkPad and try and decrypt this thing. And let's display it out onto the screen. Console.writeline that. And let's run it. General. Okay, looks like we did it then. Because I think from what we remember, looking through this, that should have been the very, very first line explaining all the definitions here. So if I did something horrific and wrote on every single line here, let's do a console.writeline with our string cipher dot decrypt, passing in that data. Let's go all the way to the end of the line. And then let's include that Schwing Foresight password or key here. Slap that in on every line, close that line, and copy it. Sure, I could have done a for loop, but then I'd have to know C# like that and everything. Oh, it is all currently string cipher, not string cipher. That would have been messy, so let's try and get that corrected. String cipher. There we go. Now everything should be decrypting with that key, and I can disgustingly slap all of that in. And we'll write it all out. So let's see what we got. Crack. Oh gosh. Why did you die? What happened? Oh, I forgot. No, I forgot a parentheses. You know, this is what you guys are going to be like, John, writing the stupid stinking for loop would have been a lot easier. And I'm like, you're right. You're right. All right, let's Control Z that out of there, slap that all in successfully. Now, fingers crossed, and let's try and run that one more time. Why? Did one of the lines break? No. Wait, that's string cipher. Why is that still a problem? You know what? We should take this from the top one more time. I screwed it up so bad that it wasn't worthwhile whatsoever. So, oh dear God. Why is that line buffed up? Yeah, that line 27 and some of these other lines are like jank. Alright, let's Control Z all the way home. There we go. Okay. Now again, console.writeline. Sublime Text is like chugging along, trying to keep up. String cipher dot decrypt all the way to the very end of the line. And we want to copy our Shanghai Forest. This will all be worth it in the end, guys. Like, I promise, hopefully we'll get something cool out of this. Shanghai Forest, close those. And now, third time's a charm, everybody. That doesn't look broken. Unless I messed it up somewhere else. Let's give it a go now. I'm pretty sure I just copied that into the output. No, that's good. Okay, let's try it. Ray, please. Padding is invalid. Excuse me? What are you talking about?
Hello?
You just decrypted.
Hi. I'm doing well. Your mic is kind of weird sounding. I don't know if it's.
F5. Padding is invalid. I am
What's
so
it sound like specifically?
It's.
you just
I don't know how to describe it, but it's not very clear.
Muffled or
Yeah, it
loud?
was muffled. Now you're better.
Okay. Let me like restart it really quickly.
Okay.
is it the right line? Yeah. Why did these all have a Z in front of them?
Hello.
Hi.
Has a Z.
Hi, hi, hi.
Hi.
Did I hit
I'm
control?
playing Fallout. So,
Agony.
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, it's still on wait.
I'm still
You're
working on this virtual machine thing. I decided to restart with
For the fourth time.
the not so hellish install.
makes sense.
Take me all
Um, I do want to retry that though, because that was pretty fun.
John,
Mm,
for you. Have it read a file on its own.
yeah.
Look, dude. Sometimes a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. In this case, publicly embarrass himself on the internet for thousands of people. I think we're good. Famous last words, because I've said that like 4 times now. Please God, run. Nice. All right, what do we got? Let's slap this into Sublime Text so it's a little bit easier to read. And I probably shouldn't overwrite my default config. But what are we looking at, ladies and gentlemen? What the heck is this? All right. The general tab is not setting continue or auto threads. Has a recipient to cookie.nick2017 at outlook.com. From SMTP, it looks like it's going to end up using those random things. Nice. At superuser.com. Oh, sure. Doing your Stack Overflow, Stack Exchange, super user things. Oh, now we have threads. Connection timeout, read timeout, loop header. Config name, 2017 type 1. IP is file name. IP URL is http new5ways.com/IP. IP list URL file, inc29. Is that a thing? Does that exist? Does this machine have internet now? I think it does. How about a virtual machine? Once again, famous last words. Alright, so /IP doesn't get us anywhere, but this inc29, that looks like it's IP list URL file. Does that need to be included? Should there be like a .text or something? .cfg, .log?
Skibbity toilet.
It's a cPanel server, so, you know. Load config URL, it's empty. What is all that? Something died in the decryption. Config, context type plain, subject, server, body server. Again, super user 425, login to file name is empty. Just a lot of settings, right? So headers from recipient subject easy SMTP accounts. What is that? Philip, password. These are the usernames and passwords that it's using to log into all of the SMTP servers. Is that right? I think. Look at these. There are so many of them. Look at this scroll bar. There's so many of them. Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah, 5,336. Just stupid username. Oh, that's why there was that count in the log.txt as to which password you were on, because you're gonna try all of these fake accounts to see what you can get an authenticate.
sidetrack, let me hit you with a real-world example to open your third eye and tell you about my very first home labbing project. Picture this. You're a humble, muscular, handsome, and highly intelligent individual, and you are currently facing a problem with storing your files and documents. You happen to have and use multiple laptops, and on your main machine is where all of your important files and documents are stored. But one day, you wake up and realize that you need to access those files on devices that are not your main machine. You start transferring files over email and USB sticks. You are annoyed.
Was cute when you fell asleep earlier.
Was it?
You fell asleep earlier. It was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like how?
What?
How?
You fell asleep. We were watching. I forget what we were watching. We're watching a YouTube video.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're cute.
No, you.
No, you. I love you.
No, you. I love you.
I love you more.
No, me.
No me.
No, me.
No me.
God damn. No, me.
I went with a Raspberry Pi I already had, which is just a tiny, affordable computer often used for DIY projects. The next thing you're going to need is a storage device, like a hard drive or SSD. I went with a 1TB Samsung portable SSD. After that, I installed a special software on my Raspberry Pi called Open Media Vault, which basically turns it into a NAS server instead of a normal computer with a desktop environment. The next step is you connect your drive into your computer and connect your computer into your router. And after some configurations in Open Media Vault, you will now have your very own personal cloud that's faster, more private, and completely under your control. I hope you weren't hoping for a more thorough explanation on the configuration process, but that's too bad. This is not a tutorial channel and I'm not your dad. The least I could do is leave you a link in the description that will teach you how to download Open Media Vault and configure it to have your own network drive. You're welcome. But anyway, adding my first piece of home lab equipment to my work setup got
Still coding.
I'm gonna be honest, part of the reason why I got into
Trying
home
to
labbing was to make my room
figure
look like
out what's
Dexter's
going on with
Laboratory.
this. It's
nowhere near
not
complete, but it's coming together piece by piece. I've got the dual monitors, the Linux theme mouse
not
pad,
doing
the
nothing,
laptop
and when
on the
I
laptop stand,
click off
and
of
the
it
sick
and
wallpapers. Every
click
corner
onto
of
something
my
else, it goes
workstation
back
starts
to
feel
the
like part of something bigger.
original
That's the chair. This chair is the only thing killing the vibe
thing.
and my back. Good thing I can stand with my
Okay.
E7 standing desk.
Goes
I
back
got
to
from today's
the
sponsor,
picking
Flexi
what-
Spot. I've had this desk for more than a year now, and it
Yeah,
has
it just keeps going back to this.
elevated my home office setup. The smooth height
weird.
adjustment, solid build, and clean design have made my workspace feel a lot more professional, organized, and way more comfortable for long work hours. But my chair is still killing the vibe. Thankfully, Flexi Spot came through and blessed me with their C7 ergonomic chair. It's an absolute beast of an upgrade from my old one. My previous chair was a disaster. It was uncomfortable, unstable, and had me sitting like a gremlin. Worst of all, I couldn't even lean back on it. But the C7 is built different. Where do I start? It has adaptive lumbar support that adjusts till my even bubble baths can plop down on this thing, no
I'm not
problem.
even-
You can even choose between a foam or mesh seat depending on what you're into. And best of all, it has a reclining backrest, perfect for when I'm feeling a little burnt out and want to doom scroll for 2 hours. By the way, this thing has so many adjustable parts, it might as well be a transformer. We're talking adjustable seat depth, adjustable seat height, adjustable headrest, adjustable armrest. about anyone. If you're thinking about upgrading your work setup, now is the time answering this video. Now let's continue. I had so much fun building
What'd you say?
and exploring the technology behind my self-made
Just
NAS
looking
that I
at the
was left
title of the
craving
video,
for another
my
project
newfound
where we could
addiction.
start to learn something to expand my home lab. And what a better way to find inspiration than to look at the areas
I'm
of my
addicted
life
to
where
Walter
tech
White's math.
corporations go out of their way to make my life as miserable as
Specifically,
possible,
I love
unless
Walter
I
White
pay
blue
their
math.
greedy asses. For example, there's nothing I love more than music, and there's nothing I hate more than ads. And these companies, they're going to keep shoving ads down your throat forever unless you pay them forever. When you mix my love for music with my hatred for ads together, it creates an experience that, let's just say, drives me off my rocker a little bit. So inevitably, as a self-proclaimed home lab guru, it was time to take matters into my own hands. That's right, I decided to self-host my very own music server. So the music server I decided to go with is called NaviDrum. The next thing I needed was just a machine to host it. I've already taken my one and only Raspberry Pi to be used as a dedicated NAS server, and even though I have 4 computers left, it would be overkill and just plain dumb to dedicate an entire laptop to solely hosting NaviDrum. And this is when I ended up having to learn a neat little thing called virtualization. With the power of virtualization, I could take one laptop and run multiple little computers inside it, and rule over them however I want, like gods. Angry gods. So I installed Proxmox, which is a powerful open source virtualization platform. With Proxmox, I can create and manage as many virtual computers as my hardware will allow. And I plan on spinning up a virtual environment specifically for NaviDrum. There are 2 kinds of virtual environments you can create in Proxmox: virtual machines and containers. For my use case with NaviDrum,
I didn't see your comments on my video or on the stream till just now.
They share the same kernel as the host system. This makes them faster, use fewer resources, and boot up almost instantly.